there's always a lot of misunderstanding or confusion around the notion that the world is an illusion. When we hear this, we hear, oh, well, the world is unreal. Who cares? Why does this even matter? What's the point in this? Why even wake up and go to work and have a family? And this confusion, this misunderstanding is very destabilizing and can send one into a deep depression. And that's not really what's being expressed when I use that word, illusion or illusionary. That word is pointing out or expressing that the world that you are experiencing is not what it seems to be. It's not what it seems to be, or it's not what it appears to be. It's not what you take it as. And this is an invitation to explore. Well, what do you mean? Because what I'm experiencing are cars and people and animals and homes and clouds and sun and rain and trees. So what do you mean by it's not what it appears to be? So now there's an exploration. But if there's no exploration and we just hear this, the world is illusionary. Especially when someone is experiencing this suffering and then hears that, well, the world is illusionary. The mind hears that, and there's a total, I shouldn't say total, but there's a big negation of life. Now, the mind's always trying to escape what is. So it sees this as, oh, this is the way out. Nothing is real. Why even try? Why wake up? Who cares about the family, the job? Society is stupid anyways. What's the point? It sees it as a free pass in a way. Now I can escape this. But that's not really what that word is pointing to. If this isn't what it appears to be, then what is it? And this is the invitation to explore. So you can see when there isn't that exploration, there is a misunderstanding of that word. What's being said is only being heard and processed conceptually. One jumps to conclusions. And leaves one in this spot of, what's the point? Who cares? This sucks. And this is not a good place to be in. And it's by misunderstanding that word, misinterpreting that word, and jumping to conclusions that then puts one in this not so fun place to be. It can become very nihilistic. Very life negating. There can be a very strong closing. Whereas it's the complete opposite of the invitation to explore, because there's an open, okay, there's a curiosity. Okay, if I'm not perceiving correctly, then I'm open to exploring the misperception. Because if the world is not what it seems to be, if the world is not what it appears to be, then what is it? And this opens one up to exploration. Whereas the former it's a closure. It's a conclusion, which means it's an end. The latter is an opening. And it's a beginning. So if I'm misperceiving, then what is this? If the world is illusionary, meaning it's not what it appears to be, if it's appearing to be something that it is not, if it's appearing to be something other than what it is, well, then what is it really? What is it truly? What is the reality of the world? We won't go into it in this video because I've actually made other videos that explore this, but we come to explore and discover that actually the world is made of you. Not you as a person, but you as presence. You as awareness. You as experiencing. You as knowing. Whatever word you want to use. But it's made of you. So the reality of this, what you once took to be a home and a car and a cat and a dog and a person and a cloud and a sun, you realize, you discover that actually it's all made of you. That you aren't separate from the world. See, the misperception is that I am this and I'm separate from everything. So this is illusionary. It's not what it seems to be. That would be the misperception. What is it really? Well, it's really what I am. that I'm actually not separate from the world, that the world is actually made of me, that what I am is the reality of the illusion. Because even an illusion has a reality. It must have some sort of basis, ground. It must come from something. An illusion just can't create itself. There must be that which is real that creates an illusion. So we find that this illusion is actually made of reality. And this is where it needs to be experientially, because it's very paradoxical. Use like the term that it's an illusion, but it's a real illusion. And the mind can't grasp this. And in this discovery, you then experience it for what it is. You experience it for what it truly is. And what it truly is you. So in this discovery, what ends is not the illusion, but the ignorance. The illusion still continues. The illusion of homes and cars and cats and dogs and trees and clouds and sun, all of that continues. But it's the end of the ignorance and believing it to be something other than what it truly is. What ends is the belief in it being separate from you. So you still see everything, just like you saw it prior to the discovery. But you're experiencing yourself as the one reality. That is appearing as the world. So you are experiencing yourself as the world. Whereas prior to the discovery, you were experiencing yourself separate from the world, apart from the world. After the discovery, you realize that the world is made of you. The world depends on you. That you are the reality of the world. And in experiencing yourself as the reality of the world, it's not dismissed. It's not negate. Oh, nothing's real. What's the point? Why bother? Why even wake up? It's not like that. I mean, we could try and speak about the experience, but really you can't. It's indescribable. You go to the grocery store and you're checking out, and there's an experiential knowing that that cashier is you, that you are not separate. You don't stop experiencing the cashier. Cashier's there, but you are experiencing yourself as the reality of the cashier. You're experiencing yourself as the reality of the grocery store. The daily activities continue, but they're completely transformed. You are the formless reality, appearing as all forms. And this is a total transformation. It's a total transformation of the world that you once knew. The world that you once knew is completely transformed. Who you think you were is completely transformed. So it's quite the opposite of this dismissing, negating, who cares, escaping. It's actually the polar opposite. It's made of you. It's appearing in you. There's a natural embrace. In the absence of separation, it's love. This is love. The reality of the world is love, and love is what you are. So it's not an escape from life, it's an embrace. Because you are life. You can't escape yourself. So in this, there's embracing the moment fully. Whatever experience, doing dishes, washing the car, cleaning, changing diapers, taking kids to school, going in the office, going grocery shopping, whatever it is, that still continues. But there's a knowingness that it's all you. And in that knowing, these daily activities are transformed. This is what I call living truth. It's one thing to kind of hear a teaching or hear something, understand something conceptually. It's another thing to kind of get a glimpse or two. And it's another thing for living that realization, living the truth that you are. It's only in living the truth that there's a total transformation. So this is where the journey comes full circle. You're right back to where you started. There's no escaping this and going to a better place. There's no negating the relative, dismissing it, denying it. No, because the relative is the absolute. The absolute is appearing as the relative. The formless is appearing as all forms. The essence is expressing as this. Everything is an expression of the essence that you are. To realize the essence that you are and discover that you are the essence of all expressions, infinite expressions. You are the essence of the infinite expressions. Life is completely transformed. In a way, everything changes, but also paradoxically, nothing changed because it's always been like this. It's just a realization. But now you're living that realization. The life in wisdom instead of in ignorance. That's what I mean is it's not the end of the illusion. But it's the end of ignorance. It's not the end of the person. It's the end of the belief in being just a person. That actually the person is an expression of presence. That they're not separate. And one doesn't need to be dismissed or rejected or denied or removed in order to make space for the other. It's not like that. They're not in opposition because they're not two. And this is more on a deeper level of realization. Because at first, when there's a discovery of essence, or our essential self, or emptiness, or formlessness, then a lot of times there's a rejection of form. Oh, the impersonal presence. Okay, well, now there's a rejection of the person. But the person is an expression of that presence. there's no divider. And the nature of that presence is love. That the presence actually embraces all expressions. It's all inclusive. So there's no need to exclude anything. There's already the harmony. Sometimes there is a new clinging and aversion, almost like a clinging to the absolute and then the aversion to the relative. But this is just a new form of separation. The mind can't understand this and that. To the mind, it's either this or that. Okay, so I'm not the person, I'm just presence. I'm not the form, I'm just the formless. It can't understand this and that. That nothing needs to be excluded. And in that total embrace, there is totality. That as long as there's exclusion happening, it wouldn't be the experience of the totality of life, the wholeness, the completeness. Hopefully this helps. See you in the next one.